Been a long time.
Yes, it has. That mine on Bendy, right?
Kazal, hellhole, like this place. Rare mineral contract. Your tastes are a bit more sophisticated now, huh?
So, you found something?
Right here. The new guy found it.
That right. And everything went cool? Just like grabbing those minerals on Bendy?
Kazal, and no Barrett, not cool. He passed out after the extraction. Woke up saying all kinds of nonsense.
Is that right, cowboy? Went on a trip, huh? That fun, huh? Not the most gentle push into the great mysteries of space, but hey, been there.
Look, just hand over the credits, and I'll be happy to never see this thing, or you, ever again.
That's why I like you, Lynn. All business.
Barrett, the scanners on the frontier are reporting a ship coming in hot from orbit.
I really thought I lost them.
Barrett? Oh, shit! Barrett was being followed.
Now, that was some fine work under pressure. You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw it. The visions? You're coming with me to Constellation. You're part of this now. Nothing wrong with honest work. Although, yes. See your point.
Oh, no, Barrett. No. You think you're just going to take off after the mess you caused?
All right. I guess I did just put you all on the Crimson Fleet hit list. How about I stay and I send your Dusty here in my place? I know, but he's not some miner anymore, Lynn. Soon as he touched that rock, something changed. Don't tell me you can't feel it.
Fine. It's a deal. Get out of here, Dusty. You're on to bigger things. Now that we've been attacked, we've got to pack up and move on. Argos will come for the rest of us. You get going. Just go. Before I say something I regret.
Well, now that that's settled. Vasco, get him to the lodge. No deviations unless absolutely necessary, okay? Protocol Indigo.
Indigo? Again. Very well.
Oh, and hey, take this. You'll find it very useful out there. And it even tells the time. Hey, look at that. The watch fits you perfectly. Now, questions? Technically, it's not even mine. Consider it a loan. Vasco will keep you on course. Besides, I'm making an exception, since you can tell Constellation about that vision you had. Come on. You're really not at all curious about that light and music show you experienced? Why it only affected you? Because if you didn't notice, we've all been handling it since with no problem. The way I see it, Constellation needs that artifact, but they also need you. This mystery is only getting bigger each step we take. And you're part of it now. See, that's the problem with the settled systems. Too easy to take everything for granted. While everyone else is busy playing politics, we're the ones braving the unknown, charting the vastness of space. Without us, the galaxy is just a big room with the lights turned out. That, my friend, is the million-credit question. And Constellation can find the answer, with your help. They're just following the loot, like pirates do. And I have something of a reputation as a loot collector. And Vasco, don't let him break my ship.
Holy shit. You actually found me.
I do not understand.
Is Barrett being held hostage or not?
Well, this is turning into a regular Constellation party, isn't it? I should have brought drinks.
Well, you didn't need to worry too much. Matsura the Grim here is actually a wonderful host.
No reason captivity should be unpleasant.
See, that's what I mean, Matsura. Real considerate.
I have enjoyed our time together, Barrett. But I can't just let you go with nothing to show for it. Is Constellation willing to pay ransom in exchange for this man's freedom? You want me to end all this with nothing to show for it? He has been more entertaining than most hostages. He does seem to be unusually skilled in that area. Barrett has some good friends, it seems. Very well. You're all free to go.
It's been a real pleasure, Matsura. Really. And good luck out there with all the, hurting people and taking their money. So, back to the lodge. Matsura the Grim? Honestly, pretty nice guy as far as pirates go. Think I butted heads with his mentor once years back. Had the same kind of surprisingly hospitable vibe. Hey, you're underselling my harrowing escape from certain doom here. A little charm goes a long way when the knives are out. Honestly, I was kind of rolling the dice with you. But hey, sometimes a bet pays off. Please, go on. I think about it a lot. There's so many possibilities. Some wonderful, some terrifying. I'm not a fearful man, but I am just a man. And I'm keenly aware that this artifact could change my life. Or end it. On Bendy? No, wait. It was Kazal. I can feel Lynn's admonishing stare boring a hole in my back. She's not actually standing behind me, is she? Well, point is, my story's probably a lot like yours. We dug a pit, found some really wonky readings. Followed them to the artifact. I think it's pretty clear now there's a possible correlation between the visions and the powers. Of course, correlation isn't necessarily causation. Once is a fluke, twice is a coincidence, and so forth. But once I get back into academic mode, I'll be writing a paper that will suggest the connection is valid. Obfuscating the identities of the powered, of course, which means we all get code names. Fun, right? Well, when I picked it up, I had no idea what it was. I knew it was something spectacular, though. I saw a vision, flashing lights, the whole shebang. Excuse me, what? I have to talk about the Starborn. Do you have a second? You do, right? Right? How could we not talk about it for the rest of our lives? It could be the dawn of a new era of humanity. Or it could be an elaborate prank or any number of mundane explanations. Well, they were definitely unusual, but aliens seem so inhuman, obviously. I just have so many questions. We just need more data. There has to be a way to draw them out and figure out where they're coming from.
It's one of our few facts about them. It seemed very important to them, too. This could be a turning point for humanity, you know? Or it could be just the emergence of a powerful new faction, or some sort of elite military tech, or a gazillionaire with nothing else to do. All we know is that they wanted that artifact badly. First of all, nice. Secondly, I think we ought to focus on, you know, this potential milestone for our entire species. But, I am pretty bad at multitasking, so we'll have to return to the first item later. And who knows? Maybe we'll never see them again. Hey, yes? Yes? Let's see. I've been in Constellation for a long time, as you know. I enjoy cheese, my work, and long walks on unexplored planets. What else did you want to know about? Always a pleasure. Okay, I admit, my famous personality wasn't so much help with this one. I'll be fine. I just need to lie down for a bit longer. I'm all ears. This is amazing. The unity, the multiverse. This is everything and more, literally. I admit, I was really hoping they were. But I cannot believe I limited my hopes and dreams to only aliens now. Jeez. This explains so much, though. They're disorganized, petty, weird, and also deeply fascinating at the same time. Because they are just people. We never rule that out, but it feels so good to know we weren't fighting against robot alien ghost gods or something. True. We need to approach this critically and carefully. We can't just jump in. Or, I mean, we could, I guess. But it all comes back to this. We don't know what will happen if you enter the Unity. You might lose yourself or become a two-headed space shark. There are too many variables. What? No. I just have to go back and forth about it for a while first, and then I'll be completely fine. Just part of my process. Of course, at the end of the day, it's your choice. But I will say this. Our entire purpose in Constellation is to explore. Why would we stop now? I'm with you. I'm not gonna hold you back. But if you know, become evil or whatever, I'm also not gonna have your back. Anytime. The possibility of turning evil aside, I appreciate you taking the lead on this. You're guiding Constellation to new frontiers, new discoveries, and we should all follow your example. On that note, there's something else I'd like to discuss with you, if you have time. It's not on the scale of entering the Unity, but it is tangentially related. Thanks. This has been swirling in my brain goo for a while now. So, I've been pondering over what's happened and what it all means. And I've got a favor to ask. A teensy-weensy favor. About the size of a plank length, really. I think it's time I joined you in the physics-bending powers business. See if one of those temples works for more than just you. Marvelous. I'm glad you're as gung-ho about this as I am. As it so happens, I've already talked to Vladimir. Seems our eye in the sky is back up and running. He sent me the coordinates for the temple already. We just have to visit. Of course, I was walking by it and I thought, hey, what the heck? Why not? Anyway, I figured you might have a use for it. My pleasure. If I see anything on our next expedition to a planet, then I'll hang on to it for you. No matter what, these temples are always... Whoa. Hello, handsome. You got to be joking. Nope. Okay. Skipping the initial shock of it all. Agreed. Not worth it. Forming a hypothesis. You know, my captain asked the same thing. Different captain, though, so you aren't an exact facsimile. From my readings, you don't have your appendix, and you're a quarter of a centimeter taller than me. Minor differences, but fascinating. I wonder what else is different. Me. Accurate. I'm just, passing through. That doesn't make sense. Cloning is a complicated procedure involving a lot of complex science. This was... a whole lot weirder. That's one way to put it. Molecular binary schism? Temporal twinning? Group hallucination? Don't forget the fluctuations in the energy patterns, which align almost deterministically. Harmonized vibrations, distorting some mechanical barrier between neighboring universes? Impossible to know with such a minute subset of readings. We need more data. Obviously. I'll be Barrett Prime. Amundsen is fine. Usually the barrier between us is too thick to communicate much anyway. Amundsen? Now I know you're not me. Hey, one of us has to keep it classy. Why stop at two? It won't work. The energy required increases exponentially per anomaly. I'm already exhausted. In a way that's hard to describe. Not physically or mentally, but something else. Sorry, friend. You'll feel right as rain when I dissipate. Whoa there. Sustaining this connection requires a lot of concentration. Is this permanent? You will eventually monitor the energy fluctuations and agree. But no, this is unusual. I could study this forever. Irvin told me to just enjoy it and collect data on the side for later. And I'm glad I did. Irvin? He's with you. He's... okay? By the tone of your voice, I'm gathering some things in our lives might be a bit different. Is he happy? Yes, he is. Our daughter pilots the ship after Vasco was destroyed. But otherwise, we've survived the war well. My husband? He passed 20 years ago. It's been so long. The horror of the infinite is the inclusion of the unimaginable. I promise. He's happy. We're happy. Oh, man. I only hope the new one we're building is just as salty as the last one. Amazing. Sounds like you don't have a daughter here, I take it. No. We talked about it, but no. We named her after Aja, my mentor. She died in the crossfire between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective decades ago. For me, Irvin
servant died instead of Aja in that crossfire. She's best friends with Cora, and she's smart as hell. Of course she is. Going on 20 years now. But we're starting to turn the tide. Imagine all of the variations. It's endless. I have so many questions. I wonder how many paths I've taken, we've taken, how many variations, how many ended with heartache and how many with joy. I think about that all the time. Wait, what's that noise? Starborn ship. What happens for any of us? I don't think it works that way, though. Maybe I'm just a construct or a memory. I don't know. But I don't feel pain. Good to know. No idea. This isn't how the power works for me. I've never had a conversation with myself before. You pretty much know everything I do now anyway. More than I ever hoped for. We can handle this. On it. Something happened. I can't hold on to you. I'm struggling. Being pulled through the barrier. This is probably it, friends. Amundsen, cherish every moment with them.
I already do, my friend. I promise.
So look, for the record, I am the same Barrett that came here with you. For sure. I think. Is the ship my secret lair, then? I guess? I would have preferred something with more seating, and maybe a fireplace. Something cozy. Oh well. Hey, at least I didn't pull an army of knees out of thin air, right? Imagine that. Kinda. I mean, here's the thing. It's pretty exhausting in a way that's hard to describe. A second one of me seems... well, frankly, it seems like it would kill me. But yes, I tried. Briefly. Then I stopped when I realized how impossible it would be. Makes me tired just thinking about it. True. How would I stand out in a crowd made entirely of myself anyway? Anyway, it's a relief, you know. I have this ability, this power. And I'm still just... me. Just regular Barrett. And I already feel like it's subsiding. I no longer feel like I'm in a huge crowd. I thought so too. Other me, other Barrett, seemed like he was able to handle himself well in that fight. Anyway, we'll see. If the other me gets in the way, I can just release him, or stop using the power entirely. For now, I just need to use this power a bit and digest what all has happened. That's pretty exhausting, really. So I might only do it when I feel like we could use backup. For now, anyway. Yes? I'm all... Yeah, I'm sure you have a ton of questions. So do I. Hey, not funny. It could happen. Power corrupts, you know. Maybe I'll become some sort of cosmic, mini-eyed monster intent on devouring humanity. Then what? Anyway, evil is a silly concept, and I'm pretty sure you'd know what to do in that case anyway. I think. I thought it would change me. I thought, what if I can fly, or see through walls, or whatever? Would I be a different person? And if so, would I still care about the things I used to care about? It took a while for me to really figure out those feelings. They were buried deep below my drive to explore and my work with Constellation. Well, I'm part of the Cool Kids Club now, right? But honestly, I don't really think it will change me that much. I'm still me. Not gonna lie, it's weird. I had hoped for the ability to fly or something, you know? But truth be told, I'm flattered. I mean, it is some sort of cosmic compliment, right? I suppose I could, but it's exhausting. Besides, the power seems weaker or just different now. It's hard to describe. No. I've been unable to replicate the experience since the temple. My hypothesis is that the quantum locking required to sustain the connection is only possible in certain situations. Perhaps it requires some sort of aligned momentum that could resonate beyond the origin universe. But that is pure speculation on my part. I don't have nearly enough data to support a solid theory at this time. We're heroic power twins, lowly copycats, each other's nemesis. Probably none of that. Probably.
Finally, these new universes won't know what hit them. Forget about the Starborn and the Hunter. It's Barrett and company from here on out. I suppose we can do that. Classic. Look, if this is a "are we doing this or not" talk, then stop right there. We're doing this. The multiverse waits for no one. Yeah, that's why I said it first. See you on the other side. This looks a lot less like a mind-bending experience of space and time and more like us hanging around like we always do. I mean, did we all choose to come back? This is an explorers group, right? I mean, I don't want to say that's a bad thing, but I thought we had already said goodbye and we were all ready. All right, let's salvage something from this wreckage. The Unity. Tell me you took notes. That good, huh? All the more reason to get back there. Look, I know everyone's probably overjoyed to see you, especially now that they had a moment where you might have been gone for good. But I'm telling you, take the jump. Get out there into that next universe. And yeah, I know I'm being hypocritical, but you know what I mean. A while ago, you helped me out when I was captured by the Crimson Fleet, and I just wanted to say thanks for having my back. It's good to be part of a team, isn't it? To be part of something so much bigger than any one of us. So many things can go wrong out there. Working with people you can trust is important. That's why I've been in Constellation so long. It's good to have people who will help out when you're in a jam. Exactly as often as I need to. Jams are just sticky successes, right? At first it seems annoying, but it eventually washes off. That's smart. Trust in things that are capable of trusting you. We're on the same wavelength here. Humans are so fragile in space. If you can't trust your crew and they can't trust you, well, nobody's coming home. That's why I'm still with Constellation all these years later. I trust them as individuals, and I trust them as a team. Speaking of which, Captain, I cannot even begin to fathom what Constellation would be like without you. Well, I try to be welcoming to everybody who joins. Oh. Oh, exactly how enjoyable? Wait, no, don't tell me. Not right now anyway. Just let me keep going. You know, being a member of Constellation has given me a lot of opportunities, and a fair bit of stress, I'll admit. It's hard to imagine just who I'd be had I never joined up. I would have never done so many things, met so many people. It's mind-boggling how different I would be. And I never would have met Irvin. Or lost him, I suppose. It's not you, Captain. It's just been on my mind. I can't say why. Irvin's been gone for over 20 years. Strange how memories can pop up when you least expect it. Oh, I've been giving myself nothing but space and time for years. But maybe it's time for me to really think about it. Well, maybe I'll take you up on that offer later on, Captain. I need some time to think about things. On that note, I think I'd do well to distract myself with a little adventure for a bit. It's a difficult topic. For years, I pretended like I was over it. But I'm not. I can't guarantee I can answer everything, but I want to try. Irvin Madani was my husband. He was also a brilliant biologist who joined Constellation a couple of years before me. Yeah, he's gone now. I remember his bright smiles when I returned from my trips. Wow, more brilliant than any star. Yes, he was one of the first people I met when I moved into the lodge. His room used to be full of plants. The humidity was hard to get used to. Thanks for listening. Did you have any other personal questions, or was that it?
Hello.
I've been thinking a lot about my early days in Constellation lately. Got me pretty nostalgic, and I started digging in some old things. Just sort of reminiscing. I found some of Irvin's last messages to me and thought I'd listen to them again to hear his voice. It was surreal, honestly. So most of the messages were everyday things. Lots of excitedly written news about biodiversity and plant life. But one thing stood out. In one of his messages, he mentioned this job that he took at a mine shortly before he died. He said something terrible was happening there. The message was garbled after that. True, but this was different. I recognized this pattern from the war. A portion of the message was encrypted. Well, Vasco helped me decipher it. Turns out the message was from Irvin, and he was begging me to help him. The message was short, but his voice was pained. He was so upset. Yes. Hearing his voice in so much pain was very difficult. Oh, I wish I had noticed this message when he sent it. So in this message, Irvin said he was being framed. He said they'll do it again. He asked if Constellation could send more help. Not exactly sure, but he mentioned a court case. So I think there's a paper trail. His former employers had some job he took before he died. I think it was a mining company. It is, but I was thinking about it and, well, it's still wrong, right? So I figured, hey, I can do some sort of a remote investigation here, see what I can find out. There's gotta be a paper trail, right? Now, I happen to have a trustworthy contact who knows a bit about law and owes me a favor. I'd need to pay in advance in case there are any access fees or bribes. That works. I'll tell them to go ahead with the investigation. You know, hearing Irvin's voice again made me want to help him, even though I know I can't. Does that make any sense? Huh. I'd say I've had that effect on anyone before. Hopefully poking around in old records doesn't catch the attention of Hephaestus. Well, anyway, I'll let you know if my contact finds anything. Hey,
Yeah,
let's catch up.
I got.
Hey, so I'm really enjoying our time together. Thought you should know. It's been a long time since I worked with someone so closely. I didn't realize how much I missed it. And you haven't stopped me from looking into this stuff with Irvin either. So, thank you. Thank you. It means a lot to know someone that you, well, care about feels the same. On that note, I do have some news about Irvin's case. So, I wanted to let you know that I heard back from my contact, and I think you'll want to hear this. They sent me a copy of some public records. It's interesting. There was a claim filed against Irvin, accusing him of damaging their investments. Looks like Irvin didn't even enter a plea. Well, if it was Irvin, I do want to understand that, because I just can't believe it. Anyway, this mining corporation, Hephaestus, sued Irvin, claiming he irreparably damaged their mine. They said he killed the apex predators in the area around the mine, which led to herd creatures overeating the grasses. That caused the soils to release too many gases too fast, which cost Hephaestus a ton of money. They claim the creature he killed was a critical hive species that caused a cascade effect when they were killed off. Irvin killed the equivalent of a queen bee, and the whole hive collapsed, basically. It looks like they considered him a no-show and ruled against him. So anyway, according to the court documents, there was a witness for the defense, who was a no-show too. Then Hephaestus won by default. They tried to take his apartment, but because it's in my name too, they couldn't. I didn't know he bought it. Must have been a better deal than renting for the time he was there. They withdrew their testimony the morning of the trial. Said they had a sincere change of heart. Yes, they plan to stay in the same system for a while. That doesn't mean we can't do anything about it. And if nothing else, I just want to know more about what happened to Irvin. So here's what I was thinking. I can persuade my contact to keep digging a little bit more. I don't want to press our luck, so I'll just ask them to follow up on one thing. Should I tell them to investigate the company more, or look into the witness instead? I don't generally like owing favors, but in this case, it might be worth it. You know, this investigation is time-consuming, but it's also pretty cathartic. And who knows? Maybe if we solve this case, it'll mean a better future for Gagarin. But that's thinking too far ahead. Anyway, Captain, thanks for checking in with me.
You know, I needed this. Exploring the galaxy with you by day, investigating the mysterious legal woes of my long-dead spouse by night. You know, I couldn't agree more. I was just remembering how I'd pour my heart out to Vasco so many times. I told him all about Irvin. He showed me a chart of how sad I should expect to feel. Sure, folks from the Lodge, folks from my past. I've got friends when and where I need them. But traveling with you has been different. We're more of a team. It feels stronger. Why not? Trust me, I've talked to way less sentient humans before. Vasco's just fine for most conversations. Oh, we got to point B many times just fine. Top-notch co-pilot. Would recommend him to anybody. Anyway, I'm glad you're here right now because we have things to discuss about Irvin's case. I heard back from my contact. They looked into Hephaestus Mining Corporation. Looks like they paid off the judge. And that's not all. My contact really came through for us. Turns out the witness was threatened until he withdrew his testimony. And thanks to our contact, we now have the receipts. My contact has an audio log with the identity of the speaker verified, time-stamped, everything. Bank transactions. A precise amount was transferred to the judge only the day before the ruling. No, my contact does for now. I trust them. We worked together a long time ago. And it depends on what I want to do with all the proof. If anything. I tend to agree. It's interesting, but not enough to take it to a lawyer yet. So I know a cyber runner who has accessed corporate archives before. They can dig into the classified archives before we go to a lawyer. We can pay extra for them to use less legal methods to obtain information, but that adds risk. I don't know. I guess that's a good question for a lawyer. I appreciate that, Captain. But I'll take care of any fines or bribes that come up from this. You have always been so supportive of me during this process. Let me take care of this part. Depending on what they find out, it might be time to talk to a lawyer. I'll see if I can find one. Whew. Taking on Hephaestus isn't going to be easy. And I say this as someone with actual superpowers. Why couldn't I have gotten something more useful? Like the art of cross-examination. Might have come in handy at the trial. Massages are nice for relieving stress, sure, but have you ever jumped around in an atmosphere full of human-sized, colorful bubbles and ultra-low gravity? It's bouncy chaos. Wait. Oh, you meant like you and me. Oh, right. Gotcha. I knew that. Sure, massages would be perfect. My, oh my. Anyway, let's go adventure while we wait on the cyber runner to get back to us.
You know, I think we're going to need to talk to a lawyer soon. The trick is finding somebody who will take such an old case. Exploring the galaxy is hard work. Trust me, I know. But stop by sometime and let's talk. Just us adventurers, okay? You know, traveling with you has been more than just good old-fashioned fun. It's been, well, therapeutic. Well, just ask. Anyway, thanks for the support, Captain. So am I. I mean, I will keep that in mind. Which brings me back to that plan I mentioned earlier. I think I know how to move forward now. But I'm going to need your help. My contact sent a gift.
You're in the house, we could do more for you. There are programs.
Seems real to me.
Much obliged, but
So they found an insurance settlement. Irvin's employers got paid as compensation for sabotage. It seems that the mining company got a huge payout after they won the case against Irvin. We have the settlement paperwork from their insurance. Tons of money. Oh, also the cyber runner had to move on to other work, but sent me a passcode to some computer system. I'm not sure what it goes to yet. We can just hold on to it until we figure it out. But anyway, we have enough to move forward. The missing piece here is proving that Irvin was framed. So I discovered that Irvin's original lawyer still practices law, and she'll look over everything we found. Oh, detective. I like the sound of that. If I'm the detective, does that make you my trustworthy and sensible partner with a heart of gold? Well, I can work with that. Detective Barrett at your service. Anyway, we should take everything to the lawyer and see what she says. Maybe she reviews it and decides we have no case, or we need more evidence. I don't know. If we don't have a case, I can probably let it go. But I have to try. Oh, yep. I've got a key card for it. But I don't know what condition it's in. It's been 20 years, but I got the ventilation and power turned on, so I think it's safe. Yes, I've already arranged for my contact to drop off the evidence at our office. Fantastic. I knew I could count on you. You're as reliable as an atomic clock. I've sent a list of everything we've found so far to the lawyer in Gagarin. You know, I actually feel optimistic about this. Lead the way, detective. I was just thinking that this is about what Irvin saw all those years ago when he arrived. He probably stood here thinking that he was going to make things better. He had a good heart. Oh, you remind me of him sometimes, wanting to make things right. And when you said it out loud, you know, I actually believe we can do it. I just hope our lawyer is as confident. Ellie Yankton. She worked on Irvin's previous case. Ellie is one of the few lawyers on this planet who's willing to take on the mining corporations in court. I sent that to our lawyer already. I asked her to confidentially review what we've found. Yes, but listen. Nobody will stand up against the mining corporations around here. They're scared. She didn't want to lose the case, but she didn't have a lot to go on. Thanks to us, now she does. Right. She said she would meet us at our office when we arrive. Hopefully she can tell us what we need to do in order to clear Irvin's name. Let's stick together, though. Gagarin isn't a huge town, but it's not the kind of town that I want to get lost in.
Greetings, Captain.
Well, well, well. Barrett, you're actually here. Astounding.
Ellie! Ellie, come on. I promised we'd stop by, didn't I?
People make promises all the time, Barrett. And most folks try to avoid Gagarin, not visit it. Anyway, I'm glad you made it out here. We have work to do, don't we? Down to business. Perfect. What do you already know?
So we already know that Irvin worked for Hephaestus Mining Company years ago, and they blamed him for catastrophic economic and ecological issues here on Gagarin.
Yes. He lost his case because he didn't defend himself, and we had almost no evidence without him.
I recall receiving a message asking him to appear in court a day after his funeral.
An unfortunate reality of interplanetary legal communiques, I'm afraid. He was publicly blamed for the economic woes, and his accounts were seized in compensation.
His account on Gagarin specifically. It was just the amount he was paid years ago for the job.
Right. They would have taken his assets and other settlements, but by law, his death prevented it. Well, we can bring the case to a judge here if we have new evidence or a witness.
What about the evidence we found so far?
Yes, well, about that. It's just not enough. Best case scenario, we clear his name and his assets are returned, plus additional compensation. In order for me to go before a judge, I'd like to have some solid evidence pertaining to motive. Yeah, we need something major. Documentation, recordings, a witness, something.
It's been so long. How could we find anything like that?
I've thought about this a lot since the original case. The mine that Irvin worked at was shuttered in 2309. They probably still have documents relating to whatever happened there with him. That's where you come in. I don't know which mine he worked at when the incident took place. In theory, you could find that information on a Foundry terminal, if you can access it. You'll need a passcode. That's the hard part. Besides the Foundry records, there also might be something in Irvin's apartment. If he knew he was being framed, he might have held on to some documents there.
I'm not much of a cat burglar, but I do have a cat suit somewhere, now that you mention it.
That is definitely not necessary, Barrett.
Dress for the job you want, not the job you have, right?
Good grief. Excuse me. Let's figure out a plan so you two can get out of my office and investigate. Okay, listen. I have heard that there are terminals in the Foundry that can be accessed with passcodes. And I happen to know that miners always have passcodes on them. Do with that information as you will. Hopefully that's enough to work with for now. If you'll excuse me, I have to get some court documents ready for this case.
The Foundry District isn't too far from here. Coordinates look valid to me. Imagine Irvin thinking the same thing all those years ago. Just a job, right? Well, at least we know where to keep looking, right? I guess we'll see what state the mine is in. It's possible they collapsed it before they left. We just won't know until we get there. If that's the case, we'll just have to figure something out.
Welcome back, you two. How was the trip to the mine?
You're gonna love this, Ellie.
Okay, someone better tell me. Come on.
We found the coordinates to Irvin's old work site and went there. Huge battle. Fire, explosions. Pew, 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 pew.
Barrett, please.
You should have seen the plants in there, too. Weird stuff. Anyway, you read over the documents we found there, right? What do you think?
What you both found in that mine is remarkable. These documents show that the chemicals released by the mining process contaminated the ecology even before Irvin was tasked with removing the predators. And they also show that Helgi informed Hephaestus of the issue, and it was repeatedly ignored. And with that, I think we've got ourselves a case, my friends.
Yes! That's what I wanted to hear, Ellie. Woo!
Yes, but it's still likely to lose. Because what we really need now is Helgi as our witness, and that is a problem. Helgi's documents are nothing without him there in court, explaining them to the judge.
Does Helgi still live around here by any chance?
Sort of. He's, unpredictable, though. You might ask Dr. Kayala. She checks up on folks who fall through the cracks sometimes. You'd have to convince her to tell you where he is. That might be hard.
Sounds like we're making a stop at the med clinic. We'll be back when we convince Helgi to be a witness.
Listen, if he refuses, then he refuses. Can't force him.
Yeah, we don't want to press him too hard. The last thing we need is him refuting what he wrote. This is going to take a light touch, but I think we can handle it.
Is there something I can help you two with?
Do you happen to know Dr. Helgi Hodgson? We're trying to get his help with something.
Sorry, who are you exactly?
We're detectives. Self-taught and unaffiliated. Freelance detectives. With the emphasis on the free part.
Wait, what? Detectives? Sorry, I don't think I know what you're talking about. No, not really. I mean, there's Irvin the Slaughterer and Irvin the Scourge of Gagarin, but I doubt that's the same person, right? I'm sorry, I'm not a tour guide. You'll have to ask somebody else.
We're trying to help him. And Gagarin, actually.
Ellie's a good person. That bodes well, but I can't violate my oaths. I'm sorry. Listen, I can say that Helgi took up a job working at Clint's store just down the way. I saw him there stacking boxes the last time I picked up an order. I've got to get back to my work here, so if there's nothing else...
Welcome to Clint's. Whatever you need, I'm sure I've got it lying around somewhere. Except mech parts. Don't trade those anymore, so don't waste your time asking. If you need anything, just follow the sound of falling in.
Funny you ask, because I'd like to know too. He owes me a sizable debt. Nobody is going to know where he is aside from someone who knows the underbelly of Gagarin. And that is Lizzie up at the bar. That's who you need to ask. You sure you got the right person? Helgi and I have had several run-ins in the past. For me, yes. But there's a lot of water.
We just need someone to serve as his character witness. Given your long-standing reputation in the city.
Sure, I can say a few words. I like him. If I'm testifying under oath, it'll be full of the good and the bad.
Wouldn't expect anything less.
Then they automate.
Looking for a drink? Don't serve anything fancy, so if you're about to ask for wine spritz or whatever, you can hop right back on your ship to New Atlantis. Well, then make yourself comfortable. And don't start anything, all right? Ah, yes. The detectives. I heard about you.
A reputation already? I'm impressed.
Slow news day, I guess. I serve drinks here, friend.
We were told that you are a local crime...
We serve drinks here. Here's a list of our specials for today.
There's nothing on here.
Oh, that's strange. Here, let me fix that. Don't worry, it's just the one sale today.
Oh, right. Of course, it's a number. Here you go, Captain. All yours.
Thanks for your patronage. Sending your receipt directly to you now. We'll be sure to leave a glowing review for your establishment. Don't worry. Wait, so let me get this straight. You want the bartender to testify he's not a lousy drunk? All right, I'm no lawyer, but seems like a bad move. Also, it sounds like work. And I don't work for free.
If it's about creds, you might earn a lot of brownie points with the locals if you helped with that. Points they'd spend at your bar.
As long as I'm still alive to spend it. But fine. If you get Helgi to show up, I'll take some of the heat off of him.
I don't suppose you're here to tell me I've won a ticket to a new planet, huh?
Sorry, Doctor. Not today. We came to Gagarin to investigate Irvin Mandani's contract with the mining company a long time ago. Ring any bells?
Irvin, yeah. Biologist. Hunter. Yeah, I remember him. Why? Who are you people? Then find the history slate. An ancient history slate. Because that's what it is.
Please. Irvin was once one of your colleagues. He was the one Hephaestus blamed for an ecological disaster about 20 years ago. Do you remember any of that?
No, I don't remember lies. He passed on. That's a kick in the pants, isn't it? Well, sorry for your loss and all that, but I can't bring back the dead or anything. So you can go now. Thanks.
Look, I know this is strange. We show up out of the blue about things that happened decades ago. But right now, nobody save us knows the truth. And that means we're the only ones who can clear Irvin's name.
And what of it? You probably think the sky is blue too. Well, you'd be wrong. It's whatever color Hephaestus says it is.
Only if you let them. You're a scientist. Your words matter. That's why we need you to testify.
Testify? The trial is over, the verdict rendered. In case you two clowns didn't get the memo. Ellie Yankton? But why? It doesn't matter. Nothing's changed. I cannot do that. Why is this so hard to understand here? Damn right it does. I just didn't think there was a way to challenge them. You're starting to make a lot of sense. Fine, you've convinced me. I'd be willing to testify on one condition. I want to know what happened to Irvin. Because when he disappeared, let's just say I had an epiphany. Hephaestus didn't need to say a word. That's when I knew the threats against me and my family were real.
Dr. Hawkson, it wasn't Hephaestus that took Irvin's life. It was the war. Irvin was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Caught in the crossfire.
Then I am sorry for your loss. It won't change the past for either of us. But I will testify. And maybe, wherever Irvin is, you'll be glad that we can finally stick it to those assholes at Hephaestus.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, don't get all mushy on me now. I need a drink.
Okay, you two, lay it on me. Did you find Helgi? Did he agree to testify?
Well, we've got good news and... well, that's it. Just more good news.
Okay. Does that mean he said yes? Well, that is perfect. She's probably the best person to call on should Hephaestus decide to play dirty. Well, you two have done all that you could. Now it's time to hand the baton off to me.
What do you think, Ellie? Do we have a chance?
The evidence you've gathered is impressive. It truly is.
So what's the verdict? In this case, I'd say spoilers are appreciated.
I almost never say this, because I don't want to jinx it, but I think this case is a slam dunk.
Huzzah! That's what I like to hear.
I think we can do everything on our checklist. Clear Irvin of any wrongdoing, charge Hephaestus with the cover-up, and even restore Helgi, Dr. Hodgson's standing in the scientific community. All in all, though, really outstanding work. We wouldn't have gotten this far without your efforts. And I've got to imagine that wherever Irvin is, he appreciates it too.
Agreed, Ellie. And thanks for being our anchor in this. We should probably more in private. Wow, we actually did it! Solved the case. And hopefully cleared Irvin's name. I feel like... what's the old saying? A great weight has been lifted off my shoulders? But it's actually true. I feel like I'm 80% biomass and 20% aerogel. Come on, let's not ruin the moment. Although we did do a lot of walking, I bet I really am lighter. I'm feeling great. Although I could do with some wine and cheese. Why stop at emotional satisfaction when we can indulge in the culinary too? But if I can be serious for a moment, thank you. I couldn't have done this without your help. Ah, that's sweet. But it wasn't just for me. It was for Irv. And of course, we can't forget our new friend Harvey. In fact, Harvey's got a little explorer in him too. According to this slate I found, turns out that our spiky friend's been all across the galaxy. I doubt it. Harvey's a wanderer. Getting lost is how he finds his way home. We've been through a lot, haven't we? I had forgotten what it was like to work with someone so closely. On top of everything else we've done together and with Constellation, yeah, I think so. Investigating Irvin's case with you is something I'll remember forever. I've come to realize that some events, some people, stand out as pillars of my life. Yes, some of them do. And if we're lucky, they change us for the better. We only get a brief moment in this universe to interact, to feel, to be who we are and experience the range of emotions that our bodies and minds have evolved to comprehend. Sure, our bodies are all we have, really. Humans are physical, which allows us to be social. This allows us to interact with others on a natural, almost primordial level. And these interactions can be fleeting or drawn out substantially, if you know what I mean. Anyway, if one is fortunate, you might even notice events and people changing you while it is in motion. I know I certainly am. I've explored many worlds, and I've worked with Constellation for most of my life. I cherish those memories, but you have changed me as a person forever. I don't want to look back years from now and wonder what if. I need to know what you think about us. Hot damn. Yes! I mean to say, I feel the same way. I haven't missed your, very welcome and affectionate hints. I still grin when I think about some of the things you've said. And just so you know, I loved it every single time. But before we go on further, are you really ready to build love into our friendship? This is a huge step, you know. I'm ready to. This is the moment I was hoping for. The moment that I will remember forever. My heart is racing. This is an adventure in itself, isn't it?
We should catch up sometime. Later.
Whew. My heart just jumped right into my throat. I'm honestly a bit overwhelmed. But in the good, happy brain.exe is malfunctioning kind of way. Vasco would probably tell me that human emotions just overcomplicate things. But it is who we are. And I love you, you know? I think everything we've discovered helped me conceptualize all this loss. Once I was able to do that, I could love myself enough to love you. And I was just wondering if, I didn't prepare this far. I miss being called that. And nothing makes me happier to hear you say that to me as well. Married. I was so happy just being with you that I forgot about those societal rituals. Humans develop these things to declare our allegiances and define who we protect and provide for. Over time, it became more about celebrating love and hope for the future. When Irvin and I married, we picked a place that we both loved, that was strongly symbolic. We had tons of friends and family. It was a big deal, and it was exactly what he wanted. This time, my only request is that Vasco officiates for us. He's a machine, I know, but he's family. I can't wait to see the look on Vasco's face. I mean, you know what I mean. Whew. Big breath. Okay, I'm ready. And I can't wait to say I do. By the convergence of those solutions.
There has been a mistake. You are not in the Unity as previously decided. The fact that you are willing to extend that feeling to a robot says much about humanity's capacity for empathy. Welcome back home, Captain. Yes, Captain.
Hey, Vasco, my friend, my pal, old buddy.
Detecting incoming request. Significant chance of socially awkward proposition. Barrett, verify.
It's true, Vasco. And I'd like you to be there, my old friend.
Request approved. Due to hormonal disturbances, there was a 60% chance of this outcome. So I have prepared a formal procedure in advance. Please provide the coordinate details.
Makes sense to me. We don't have to include anybody else, but just being there means a lot.
This is agreeable. I will get into an appropriate location for potential photography. Ensure that you are satisfied with your appearances.
Oh, is there something wrong with my appearance?
No, Barrett. I have noticed that some humans prefer to groom themselves prior to important moments.
Oh, that's kind, my friend. We'll talk to you when we're ready. Filled up with hope, grit, and science.
Yes, Captain.
Vasco, we're ready now.
First, I require input from both users to proceed. Please provide your spousal address, wife, husband, partner, or some other title.
So formal. I love uniforms, always have. And I absolutely love formal wear, for the record. Please go with husband for me, Vasco. Or you can refer to me as the amazing husband if you want.
Declined. Husband is sufficient. Next prompt. There are 2 versions of the ceremony, succinct and verbose. Please decide. Succinct covers the legalities and no more. Verbose includes imitative human pleasantries.
I'm marrying a romantic here, and I absolutely love it.
Confirmed. More input is required. Please state any modifications needed.
Now that you mention it, yes. I'd like to present a token of my affection.
A segment of time has been allocated for your property transfer.
It's just sentimental, really. You heard my captain.
Correct. I heard him.
Now let's get going.
Please do not get going until the ceremony has concluded.
Never mind. Just continue. Are we almost done with all this setup stuff or what?
Confirmed. Please do not emit further noises until prompted. Initiating Nuptials Procedure 2.0. Please pause hormone production until the end of the ceremony. Let us begin. Welcome, affectionate humans, robots, animals, plants, fungi, bacteria.
Vasco, bring it back, buddy.
Skipping additional formalities. By committing to each other legally, you signify your desire to merge lives. Amundsen Barrett, do you take this person as your lawfully wedded captain?
I do. I truly do.
The same question will be posited to all parties. Do you take Amundsen Barrett as your lawfully wedded husband?
That's a relief.
The vow exchange is now complete. Barrett, you requested a moment to present a token of affection.
Yes, this is going to seem weird, but here. Of course, this plant is Harvey. I think it's one of a kind. So this little guy, Harvey, symbolizes a lot of things. He was rescued once from a dying planet and once from a windowless apartment. When it comes down to it, he's got an explorer's heart. He's brave, resilient, and just a tad bit weird. Kind of like us. And while the ones we love are forever in our thoughts, with this gift, only you hold my heart in your hands.
The material gesture is now complete. By the power vested in this unit by the authority of New Atlantis, I now pronounce you married. Congratulations.
You have my attention. Always. I only need a few things in this universe. Exploring new worlds, adventures among the stars, your companionship and love, and an occasional back rub. That's it. Perfection. Look at us, showing love and affection and not being at all awkward about it. Thank you for that adventure. I hope later tonight we can continue exploring together. Waking up with you is the highlight of my day, and I'm literally an adventurer. Wait there. Let me savor this moment. Perfection. I've experienced solar storms, meteor showers, volcanic eruptions, but you, oh, are something else. Hello there. So, next time, let's switch off the gravity, okay? Good morning, you. We could cuddle more, but adventure really does await. You fell asleep while I was telling you about that time Yeah, never mind. It's okay. I love your sleepy face. Now, we could stay in bed forever. Or we could jump up and explore. What do you say? I'm speechless. And that's saying something.